Welcome to the Baron's Hideout podcast. I'm your host, Dustin.
I'm your co-host Aaron. Feels good to be back.
Literally a month break. Um, we went on vacation, both of us, and then this life happened, and we haven't really done really anything. I mean, I've done a couple of spin-off things for the Dustin's Thoughts, but I kind of stopped that. What, like 2 weeks ago?
Something like that, yeah.
About like a week or two ago. But we're back, and we're gonna be streaming since we haven't streamed. I think even longer than a month, right? I think it's like almost been
I
how
think
many
it's
weeks?
almost a month.
Almost a month.
Yeah.
Well, it feels really good to be back, and I'm happy to be back, and yeah, it's crazy. Time just flies, and you lose track of everything. You get busy with work or
Just
things
life in general.
your life just gets like super crazy, and then you don't have enough time to do like everything else. But it's good to kind of get back into the swing of all of this stuff,
Yeah.
and start watching movies again, because I haven't really watched any movies since we stopped doing these, because I haven't had any time, and I know you've been really busy with work since you came back from vacation,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's amazing to be back. And today we are going to be talking about and reviewing The Stuff.
The stuff.
I forget what year it is. I know it's 80.
85, I
Is it
think.
85? For
Or
a second,
84.
I thought it was like 82.
Oh, 85.
85. So Aaron with the facts. So we're probably going to be a little rusty today, just because we haven't done this in a while. So I do apologize for that, and hopefully everything sounds really good. We are actually doing this live. I know I said that, but we haven't been live in a very long time, and it feels really good to be here. We are on Twitch, and that is twitch.tv/the Barons Hideout _podcast. And I guess right now is a good time to kind of go through all of our socials that we usually do, if I can remember them, because I haven't really been posting a lot on them. I mean, I'm on there a little bit every day, but I'm not doing like a lot of posts. I'm just kind of liking things. But Twitter, which is just the Baron, no, the BHO _podcast, and then there is our Instagram for the podcast, which is the Baron's Hideout _podcast, and then there's also Aaron's Instagram.
Which is Arow, BHO. That's AROWE, BHO. I haven't been super active on that lately, but I am working on that, so.
Yeah, I think we're both trying to get back into the swing of things, and it's gonna take a little bit. Once you take a break from a lot of things, it's really hard to like get the motivation to go and do that. But I think after today, we're probably gonna be full swing in this again, because it feels really good to be here
Mhm.
and to talk about these movies. And we're actually doing a new series, which I will say after we're done with the socials. I mean, you guys can kind of see on our screen right now what we're doing. But for all of our other socials that we have, I'm pretty active on TikTok lately. I haven't really been posting a lot, just because, like I said, those are, like I say every time, it's just mainly for promos. But that is just the. Let me double check. Hopefully, we don't get any things on it. It's just the BHO _podcast, which I've been trying to be on there as much as I can lately, just because of how busy that platform is.
Yeah. I haven't given in yet, though.
Yeah, it's okay. And then we also have our Patreon, which I haven't posted on there, which I probably should have, to be honest, for the people who do support us on there. I'm so sorry that I haven't like updated anybody to let you know what's going on. That should have been like a pretty main priority, since we have people there that do support us and are actually still supporting us. But that is just the Baron's Hideout _podcast. So if you guys do want to support everything that we do, and you want to see things be improved, or if you have any recommendations or anything um, involving the podcast, or things you guys want us to review, that's the best place to go and kind of interact with us. We also have our Teespring store, which just has our shirts and stuff on it with a bunch of other stuff. I haven't really been promoting it, mainly because we haven't been doing anything in quite a while. But it feels really good to be back. And one other announcement is for the past couple of weeks, we're supposed to have Scorpion BLS on here, but he's been going through some like a little bit of a rough time right now. But we have a set date. and it's going to be next Saturday, which is August 7th, and we're going to be comparing the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the remake, and we're going to be doing that here live on Twitch because he's also a Twitch streamer. He does drums, but he's an awesome dude. I've been talking to him a lot lately just because of what's been going on in his life, and he's getting there. I think we're all kind of going through a rough patch right now because everything is opening, but now
Just adjusting to the new.
everything is closing again now too because obviously we have the new variant out now with COVID. So I mean, come on, guys. I don't want to like say these things on our podcast, but it's like stop being fucking selfish and dumb. Get vaccinated. If that upsets you, then don't listen to our podcast. Sorry. um, is there anything else?
Make sure you like drinking your liquid death.
Liquid Death. Yes, we always have Liquid Death. Always. And I got these new koozies too, which are freaking awesome, and keeps it really cold. It's I think it's their Thrashed to Death design. That's really really cool. They have this on shirts too, which I think I did order a shirt that has this on it. But before we get into everything, our new series that we're doing, we're gonna be doing this for the next 2 months. This was supposed to start like a couple weeks ago, but like I said, we've just been really busy with everything in life. It's just been life. But we're doing our camp series. It sounds really goofy, and it's meant to, because it's everything revolving around campy movies that are set in camps or that are both campy and set in camps. So I have a list of movies we will be doing. I haven't posted it on any of the socials yet, but that will be going up tomorrow to so you guys know the rest of the schedule that's going on. And then that's going to be like our first block that I have out right now. And then we're going to be going and doing another one. I'm trying to think of what we should be doing leading up to Halloween because it's already pretty much August. So
Yeah.
this camp series is going to like pretty much bring us all the way almost to October, probably like mid-September. And then we probably have like a little bit of a break to do kind of like some non like I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say like non-Halloween movies, but you know what I mean. Because I really do want to start reviewing all the Halloween movies again, especially since the new movie is going to be coming out in
Halloween Kills.
what 2 months? I think is it October 18th or October 4th? For some reason, those are the two dates I have in my mind right now.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
But we do have our trailer reaction of that on YouTube, and that's another thing we didn't talk about is our YouTube, and you guys can watch all of our shows on there. So if you want to have the video option for you for these podcasts, YouTube is your go-to, and that's just the Baron's Hideout _ podcast, like everything else. And then obviously we're on everything. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google, all the other weird podcast applications that are out there. But today we are going to be talking about the stuff. And before we jump into this has been my second time, I believe, watching this.
Me too.
I think the first time was actually with Joe Bob Briggs because I never got around to watch this movie. I always wanted to, but usually when he's like reviewing and talking about movies, it's like, oh, now I really want to watch it now. But
gets you into it.
Yeah, but this movie it's kind of all over the place, but it's a Larry Cohen film, so I mean you kind of have to expect that. And rest in peace, he died I think a couple years ago. I think it was 2018, 2019 I think is when he passed away. So we all need to give our condolences to him and go watch his movies, especially this one, because it's very very fun, even though it is kind of all over the place.
Kind of goofy.
It's very goofy. It's not like it's camp, but it's not really camp. It's just so goofy that I needed to put it in with the series that we're doing, you know?
Yeah, I'd say it fits in the whole campy because it doesn't take itself seriously, but I feel like it spreads kind of like a serious message at the same time, though.
Oh yeah, and we'll definitely be going into that. Is there anything we need to talk about before we jump into this? Is there anything that I'm forgetting? Because I always feel like I'm forgetting something every time we do these.
I think we hit all the bullet points for the most part.
Okay, and would you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll have you lead us into it.
Okay,
if that's cool with you.
No, that's completely fine. So now we're gonna jump into the stuff.
Dust.
And this movie, it starts very abruptly. Like you're there. It's just a guy walking in like snow, and he looks like he's at some kind of like, I don't know, like mining place or something, because he's like got the conveyor belts and everything
Yep.
everywhere. And he just walks up and he randomly sticks his hand. We don't see him stick it into anything, but we know he is because he's got like white shit on his hands. But he just like sticks his hand in the snow, and then he goes, "So smooth."
So sweet.
And then he just starts eating it. And it's just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Okay, first of
You
all,
see a bubbling liquid sitting in the middle of friggin' Antarctica or wherever the hell you are.
yeah, it's
And
just any like normal person who has like some sort of common sense. If you stick your hand into something, you don't automatically eat it. I mean, you could smell it, sure, that's fine. But even just like sticking your hand in there without even knowing what it is also like really
yeah,
weird.
right? What if it melted your hand off or something?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like already this guy's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then like, I guess everybody's going home or whatever. So he's got a couple people that leave, and then there's another dude who walks over, and I think he calls the guy who ate it Harry, right?
I think so,
I
yeah.
don't know the other guy's name, but I'm pretty sure Harry is the one that was eating
Peter
it.
and Harry.
Peter.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's like, "Oh, you come over here, man. This is really good. It's like good stuff." And then they start eating it, and they're like, "Oh, this is great." And then Harry's like, "Oh, I wonder if we could sell this. This is a really good product." And then it kind of like it jumps now to a boy who very weird. It's like he was having like a night terror
Mm-hmm.
or something, because he like jumps out of bed and starts like itching his skin, and then
I
he's
think he's
like,
gonna attack my mosquitoes or something.
yeah, and then I think he even says like he's getting eaten alive, and I think he closes his window, and then we get a title card right there, and which is kind of funny. Uh, and then he goes downstairs. It's like in the middle of the night, so I don't know if they said what time it was, but I know it is like late. He goes downstairs. I guess he's hungry, and then he goes opens up the fridge, and you see this white goo tipped over in a container that says the stuff. And by the way, I love the design of the product because of how colorful and like
Mm-hmm.
the lettering and everything on it looks so cool. I was almost about to buy, because people made like replicas and stuff that you could buy of the container, and I want to buy one still, but I
Yeah.
wanted it for this, but it wasn't gonna make it here in time, so I was like, okay, whatever, screw it. But yeah, it's really cool. But he opens up the fridge, and it's like all moving and everything. He's like, "What the hell is this?" And then his dad just like randomly pops out of nowhere. He's like, "What are you doing out of bed? Like, I thought you were like a burglar or whatever." He's like, "Dad, the stuff in there it's moving." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then we get, I guess it's supposed to be like the father's perspective, and it's just there. It's not moving or anything,
Yep.
but the boy still sees it moving. And then what does the dad do? He like scoops it up and then
Just
starts eating it.
yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is going on? So like the boy
They already
obviously
got
like,
him.
yeah, like he knows there's something up. Um and then we jump to a pretty cheesy commercial, but I mean at the time it kind of makes sense, especially with products, because this is very like how would you describe this? It's like how people,
Very 80s,
yeah,
like or like 70s, like
yeah. It feels
peppy and
70s.
like
It definitely does, because like even like the way like the stuff is written is very like in 70s font,
yeah.
and like the colors and everything. But like even the commercial, it's so like, I don't want to say propaganda. What is it like?
Um,
Like
it
even,
kind of reminds me of They Live with the signs everywhere.
yeah. Like
So propaganda, I think, would be the right word for
like
it.
I mean we have that now, and this is what this movie really is. It plays on like the consumer, and like how companies get you to be sucked into their products and everything. So that's really what this movie is like all about. And like once we start getting into even more, like you can really see it. But I mean, you kind of already know by like the commercials, and like even the guy in the beginning is like, "Oh, I think we can sell this to people," and
Mm-hmm.
so it's already like this is how companies get you. So yeah, it's crazy. And to know that that stuff still happens to this day, and there are people who are addicted to certain like
You
products
know,
and
like
stuff.
manufactured drugs and stuff
Yeah,
like that. You know.
it's crazy, and like Larry Cohen like really knocked it on the head on this one. But yeah, it's like a super cheesy commercial, and it's definitely meant to brainwash everybody. Then like this we jump from like four different like scenes in like the first like 10 minutes. It's
Mm-hmm.
the dude eating the stuff. It's the boy, and then it's the commercial, and then
And then they
it's
got the ocean, right?
yeah, it's when we get to the boat with all like the business suits and everything. I didn't write down their names because there were so many of them.
Yeah.
But they're like talking about like how they want to go and pretty much inspect the stuff company and see what's going on and how they're like getting people and what they can do to make their products better. And then they're like, oh well, we hired this spy, and he comes in his. I've called him Mo through the whole thing, but his
Mo.
real name is actually it's David. But like, what
They call him Mo because he always wants Mo money.
Mo money exactly, and he says that quote like 3 times I think throughout this movie. And actually, Larry Cohen, the actor who plays Mo, has used him I think a couple of different times in his movies. But
Hmm.
I think we'll probably get to that once we actually start talking about like who the actors and everything were in this film. So yeah, he pretty much goes on. He's like they're giving him like a rundown of like what to do, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, I heard that you guys were kind of like talking shit about me and everything, and like I know." And he was like asking who was the one that was like saying, um,
The
I don't know what he was
how he got
saying.
like kicked out of the FBI and
Yeah,
like
yeah, and they were like kind of like making fun of him. It's like I don't know how you know that. It's like, well, I went to your hotel last night and I
I
put
stuck this in your pocket.
yeah, it's like a little
What was it? I couldn't figure it out.
it's
Was it a microphone or something?
it's a microphone, and he must have like an in-ear piece because like he is a spy, and if he worked for the FBI, then obviously he's got some sort of tech.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of if you think about it, you think that's too high tech for back then?
No, I wouldn't. This is a wireless microphone. I'm sure they had it.
For 1985, I guess so. I mean, it even looked really cheap,
Yeah,
you know.
but
But they're all just like, okay, well, I guess this guy really does mean business, and I think he grabs the money, and then he he says to like some other dudes like, oh, if you see the FBI, can you give this to him? And he like knocks out the dude and he's like punches him in the face, and it's just
yeah, that
like,
was funny.
oh, okay, so this guy is he's very
I liked
wacky.
him.
I
Yeah,
really do. I think he's a really good actor, and he does a really good job. I love the way he talks. I love his
yeah.
accent.
He's got that like smooth talking salesman voice, or
Mm.
he's and like I don't know. He just like gets everybody he talks to like just believe him and what he's saying. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, he's got such a soft voice and a great accent, and he's like always straight to the point, and he's great. Mo is the best character I think throughout this whole film. I mean, there's a couple other
And he
ones,
doesn't
but
even come corrupted either, really. From
no,
besides like kind of towards the end, but that's not. I wouldn't even. They were
yeah.
the heartless corporate.
Oh, the ending is great. I love the ending of this movie. It's so
but
good.
but yeah. All right, you want me to take over?
Sure, go right ahead, my
All
dude.
right. So this is right after the the boat scene. And then Mo doesn't he go to a shooting of another commercial or like a show, um, to meet what's her name, Nicole, I think her name is.
Let
Or is that
me. I think that might be. Well, we jump back, I think, to the kid's family, and
oh
then we go to
oh yeah.
that.
So like yeah, you got Jason the kid
Yeah,
who's
Jason. Yeah, the
um
younger son.
he was talking about like I don't know something about his face or it's that family's face just has like that like blank like
Yeah,
creepy
no
like
emotion and just like
yeah
do as I say. Do it.
but yeah so they're all trying to get him to eat the stuff and he's not having it so they're going to the store yeah we didn't get to the store yet right
No, I have this written down that we go back to the family.
yeah and then that's when he sends him up to his room to eat the stuff right
Mm,
or am I getting way too ahead of
uh,
myself.
no, this is the one I think when he's going downstairs to get food,
Oh,
and he's telling them don't eat that stuff, and I think they all get like really uptight.
Oh yeah, and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with it?" And he's like, "It's spoiled."
Yeah, and it moves.
And then they like try to make him taste it, and
Yeah.
they get pissy with
So
him.
it's
And
kind of like a short scene because
yeah,
they're trying to intertwine
multiple stories.
which I don't. Before we like really jump into it, I think they're trying to do too much in this film. I think if they just focused on Mo and him just doing his
Yeah.
thing and not worrying about this boy's family, because it seems kind of just like they just jumped that in to like have sort
Mm-hmm.
of normalcy, and so you can kind of relate to somebody. I think that's why they probably
Yeah.
did that.
Although I did like the scene in the grocery store though.
Oh, yeah. That comes I think after Mo goes to the shoot, which you can talk about now because I mean it's the family part wasn't really that important. So you can
I just
talk
kind of
about.
forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just a very quick scene.
But yeah, so Mo ends up going to a shooting for a commercial for the stuff. And he meets Nicole, who's like their marketing, their campaign director, and so she's the one who's got the stuff everywhere. The stuff. uh, so he goes directly up there. He just goes in. He's calling the shots. Suddenly, he's like, "All right, turn that shit off. Stop. I need to talk to Miss Nicole alone."
He's so assertive, and I love it.
And it works too. People listen to him.
Because they're so shocked that it's like, what? What?
um,
So I want, well, maybe not actually do this, but like if you want something done, just shock the hell out of people and just start yelling for people to stop doing things, and it'll probably stop.
yeah, right.
You might get punched though, so just be careful.
Yeah, right. But so he's like, I need to have a conversation with her alone, and everybody leaves. They start talking. She's like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" He gives her his card. And he's like, I forget what company. He says from a company or something like that.
Some petroleum
Yeah, like
place. I don't think he had like an actual name for it. I just know he said something about petroleum.
but and he talks about how he's undercover and how he's trying to buy the company and bring her to the top, and
she's like, "Oh,"
and so that suddenly got her attention. She's like, "Oh, run this guy's background," and she's like, "Buy me a dress. I'm going out to dinner." He's like, "So name your favorite restaurant," and she's like, "Where you staying?" So they end up making dinner plans, and
yeah, that's another really funny thing too. It's like she's so like into him all of a sudden. So like, cancel everything I have. Give me the nicest dress you can find.
she got
Give
an
me my
opportunity
limo.
for money.
It's like I know, but it's like even like she's like she likes him though.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing. It's just like you just met the guy. You don't
She's
know
like,
what
"My
he's really
hero."
about. He just stopped your whole operation, and then like he has some sort of power over people to just like make them do like
Yeah.
anything, and like it's kind of crazy. And I kind of wish I had that power.
Right.
Just like say one word, and people are just like, "Oh, you know what? You're right."
I've been told it's just confidence, but
I know, right? He has too much confidence.
So, but yeah, after the shoot, we cut to the grocery store, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
This is a good scene.
We got Jason, and I can't remember if he's with his parents or not. He's just
No.
there by himself,
Yeah.
just sabotaging. But, so you got Jason, the little boy. He's in the grocery store. He sees everybody. He's got stuff in their carriages. They got fridges
It's
full
so
of
funny when
this
you
stuff.
say they have stuff in their carriages.
I know they got stuff in their carriages.
Because it's like, what stuff? The stuff. But what stuff? The stuff,
The
man.
stuff.
The stuff.
The stuff.
The only stuff.
The taste.
We'll get to that later.
So he's looking around for the stuff. He sees it everywhere, the signs and the taste. And he just starts going on a rampage. He's like knocking all the stuff off the shelf. He's knocking stuff out of the fridges. He's ripping down the signs. He's breaking glass doors.
I don't blame him.
Stuff is splattering everywhere.
I think it's really funny. Honestly, if I knew something was up with a certain product, and like you know that
Yeah.
legitimately there's something up because you saw it with your own two eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the real world, you would definitely get arrested and you'd be fined for everything that you did.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's also a kid, so maybe
Go to
he would be
juvie or
okay, but the
something.
parents would definitely have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But the kid's got some balls, and
And
I would like to think I would do that to save humanity. But I mean, humanity is really fucking dumb.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, like, do I
Considering
really
it's
want
already
to?
taken over the friggin' world, you know.
Yeah, literally.
But he that's one tough kid too because it took 3 guys to take him down,
Yeah, it was like
and he kept knocking
security
shit
guards,
down.
and was there a police
There was
officer?
somebody from I think the company too, like from the stuff, because he was like
Oh,
this stuff. You
definitely. They were like everywhere. Like guaranteed, there in like every place you went, even in public, there was probably at least like a handful of them, just like
I'm sure.
observing everything.
Yep. Everything is going according to plan. But so he's just fucking shit up in the grocery store and spilling stuff everywhere.
Good job, Jason. Good job, man.
So, um, anyways, he is contacted by Mo, right?
Uh, yeah. After we go to visit Mr. Vickers.
Vickers. Oh yeah. Mo goes to visit Mr. Vickers. He is like started or helped start the company, didn't he? Or he no FDA.
Yeah,
It's coming together now.
Yeah, he was that, and then
He helped to
he
prove
had
it.
yeah, and then like Mo was asking him a bunch of questions, and he also has a dog that's
Ben.
yeah, Ben, who is apparently a year old, but he's huge. So yeah,
He feeds him real well.
Yeah, he feeds him the stuff. And it's funny because they're kind of talking, and Ben's in the room, but Mr. Vickers is like always looking at Ben because he looks super frightened of him. And like Mo's asking him like, hey, do you have any like documents or anything about the stuff so I know like how it was made, or how was this approved, and I want to know the process of it, and do you know what's in it? He's like, well, I mean, it's not like a drug or anything, so it doesn't really need to go through a lot of processing. It's like buying yogurt or ice cream, which I feel like there's still a process.
Yeah.
You know, that there has to be, to make sure there's nothing harmful to whatever, like say to an animal or
but
a
then
person.
again, they get that law that they mentioned too. I forget the exact name, but you know that where Coca-Cola is bypassed, you know, they don't have to share their ingredients.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I mean, even like still to this day, like companies
you can't 100% trust what's in things.
and like companies don't really list all their ingredients.
Just the ones you want to hear.
Yeah, literally, and they really shouldn't. I think it really should be like an actual law. Like you need to be 100% on everything, you know. But what do I know? So yeah, Mr. Vickers tells Mo, like, "Hey, I actually got some papers upstairs. I'll go grab them for you." And as he's like leaving the room, he's like
peeking around, snooping, and
yeah. And Mr. Vickers like looks over. He's like, "Oh, good boy, good boy." And then like Mo's even like, "Why is he scared of you?" And he like he gets up. He's like, "Okay, let's go to the kitchen, Ben. Let's go see if we can get something.
Get something
like,
to eat."
Yeah, get a snack." And he opens up a door, and what's in there?
Stacks and stacks of the stuff.
The stuff. And then Mr. Vickers comes down. He's like, "Oh, here's the papers." And Mo's like, "Okay, well, I'll fax these over to you. I'll give you a copy once I get back." And he's like, "Yeah, that's good." And then Mr. Vickers talks to Ben. It's like, "Okay, let's go get a treat. I think we both deserve it." So I think they're both consuming the stuff.
Like in a obsessive.
Yeah, in an unhealthy amount. I think if anybody ate anything on the rate these people eat the stuff, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
But that's just me. See if there's anything else. Oh yeah. So we get a quick, I think, cut to Mo at the stuff stand. He's like, it's 3:30 in the morning, and it's still a shit ton of people like outside the stand.
Oh yeah.
Ordering the stuff, and it's like, what? How? Do these people not sleep?
Yeah, right. Oh well, they don't.
Yeah, which we do learn. And then we get another cut back to Mr. Vicker and Ben, and Mr. Vicker's like underneath the table. He's like, okay, Ben, all right. And then we see Ben's mouth open up, and like this
just start foaming out the stuff.
Yeah, the stuff just comes out, and we don't really see it, but we know it happens. It kind of happens like off screen.
He eats his face.
He's dead.
Yeah, Mr. Vicker's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like him anyway. He was kind of I don't know. He was weird.
Yeah. He was very strange. Like, he seemed like he was hiding something.
And he was very on edge the whole time.
Yeah. Maybe it's his addiction to the stuff.
The stuff. I kind of want to taste it.
The stuff, I know,
I
right?
mean, it just looks like marshmallow, but I mean,
Like fluff, yeah.
like, would you be corrupted if you just had like one little?
I don't know, probably, because if it's a living organism, it can.
Yeah,
But
and apparently, like, it's on Earth, so and we
something
don't
that
we
grows.
don't really be. I don't think we're told if it's like actually of origin or if it's an alien like
Yeah,
thing. You know, they just say, oh, it's just on Earth, and like it will come out of like anywhere. But I'm really really curious. I
I have
might
to
have to
do
look
some
this up
research later
after. I should look that up
on
because
this
I'm
stuff.
really really curious if it actually is like
Yeah.
of alien origin or
Well,
not.
they mined it, so it's like something
Is
under
it
the earth at least.
is
You
it
know.
like the thing though? Like they
Yeah,
uncovered
it's
this,
naturally occurring,
yeah,
and
this
they just
thing,
mined it.
or if it's actually like this is meant to be on Earth and this is like what like
Yeah,
killed the dinosaurs or some shit.
yeah,
You know,
right.
like is
The stuff
is that
killed
what
the
it is?
dinosaurs.
Hey, who fucking knows?
You never know.
Um,
But yeah, and then I think Jason and Mo finally meet, don't they? After,
I want to say yes. Let me just see, because we had so many cuts.
yeah, so it's like all over the place.
Oh my god! I know I have it written down here. I know Mo goes to a gas station.
Oh yeah.
Where do they? Huh? Oh no, we still have a while before we get to that.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah. You want to talk about the gas station?
Yeah. All right. So this
This
is
is when it gets kind of interesting too.
yeah.
It's like, okay, well, there is a little bit of a mystery about this whole thing, and this is when it kind of like jumps in, but it's also kind of weird at the same time.
Yeah. So that's is it who is it? It's Mo and no, it's just Mo.
Yeah,
He
we
pulls
start
up
this
to this like ghost town, and
literally.
yeah, like nobody. He pulls up to a gas station. He's like, "Oh, fill her up," and this one dude comes out. They're just shooting the shit. They're talking about, like, why is the town empty? Were you really the only one here? What happened? And um, so, but anyways, uh, sorry.
It's okay. I
um,
know another car pulls up, and Mo's like, "Who's over there?"
and he's like, "Do you recognize that car?" He's like, "No." So he just walks right up to it, like, no
Yeah,
shit
it's just
fucks given.
like I even said that I was like, he's got some like balls. Like he's smooth talking. He can like convince people to do things, and he just doesn't give a shit, and he'll just go and walk up to anything. Like, is this guy an actual superhero? Like,
Mm.
is he a mutant?
Yeah, right.
Is he the stuff? Imagine that. It's like turns out he's just like, I've made this all along, so I don't care. I will corrupt you. But yeah, it's
So,
that's funny.
but anyways, so he walks up to this strange car, and this is when we meet Chocolate Chip Charlie.
What the fuck?
um, so he's looking in the car, and all of a sudden he takes a foot to the face, and a big
Yeah, it's
oh yeah.
I first time watching this, I was like, "What is going on?" And like even watch this a second time, I'm still like, "What is going on?"
Yeah. Um. So
Chocolate
Chocolate Chip Charlie enters the scene, and he starts trying to beat up Mo. Mo ends up like kind of getting him off him. He's like, he's like, I'm not one of them, or
Yeah, they
he's
stole my company.
yeah,
I want to help you.
yeah. So
So then, why the fuck are you kicking me, you asshole? If you want the help, why are you kicking me when you know that we're on the same side? You know, it's just like, oh,
yeah.
this guy.
So Chocolate Chip Charlie,
I
and
can't get over
Mo
that.
go back to the gas station, or a motel or something like that. There's one of so the gas station dude just runs off.
Yeah,
First,
Mo sees it, but he's just like, oh,
okay,
whatever.
whatever. Yeah, he runs off into the woods, like, so, and then they go into the store, the gas station. There's another dude, and they're asking him about the stuff and what's going on with the town and where everyone went. And so apparently they all just abandoned this dude, or these two dudes, or
Yeah, they all went to work for the stuff.
Yeah, they went to go work for the stuff, and
Excuse me.
they all either left the country or they're all
Yeah,
either
because
dead.
they're even like, well, we've been trying to track these people down. They're either out of the country or they're dead. And the guy's just like,
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know, man.
But he's acting off too, though. There's something weird about him. And then he starts getting super defensive. He's like, "Oh, you should leave," and then he's like, "Oh, I'll be right back," and he just like slowly walks.
Sketch.
Yeah, and just walks into this back room, and they're waiting for him, and they just hear like groaning and shit in the back.
It's funny because they even have like a conversation like, okay, what should we do them? And Charlie is like, oh, we can knock them out, put them in like the back of the car. He's like, oh, that's a good idea.
He's like, but we can't legally do that or something. He's like, but we can do this.
Yeah.
So they hear this guy in the back just like groaning and moaning, and he's like, wait, Chocolate Chip Charlie always knocks first, so he knocks on the door, and he just like punches a hole through the freaking door.
His hands are weapons; they're lethal weapons. It's like, oh my god.
So
the humor is pretty good in this movie. It doesn't take itself serious at all.
I'm noticing a pattern though. The last few movies we've done, there's some random like fight like karate guy like scene. Like, do you remember in Pieces? Yeah, the teacher. And then I feel like in I can't remember the name of all these damn movies. What was the one we did after that? The kid who's obsessed with movies.
Fade to Black.
Fade to Black. Wasn't there like someone who gets attacked by like beat up or something like? I feel like, but
I think so.
But something goofy like that though.
They need to have some sort of martial arts or like some sort of fight to I don't know, liven up the movie. But I don't know.
So they find this guy though, and he's laying on the ground, and the stuff's just like kind of just oozing out of his mouth, and you can see it go out the window and escape, and it's kind of like forming at this point.
And even like how like the mouths of the people open, it's just like,
oh my god, now
how can you? Your jaw is definitely broken. Definitely broken.
It's with the price you pay for the stuff.
The stuff.
He set a world record for the biggest gape.
Oh my god, Aaron.
So they see the windows open. They're like, oh, it had to have gone this way. So Moe's like, I'm gonna follow it. And Chocolate Chip Charlie's like, nah, fuck you, dude. But he goes anyway. They climb through the window. And they're chasing the stuff.
Yeah. The stuff.
And then this guy, the store guy, wakes up.
Yeah.
And then just starts eating more of the stuff and just fucking.
So like I'm
like, does that? I was wondering.
I'm still confused. Like, is this like a parasite? Is what I need to know. Is it a parasite? Does it feed off of you?
Or do you feed off of it? Or...
Yeah, because it even says like, is it eating you or are you eating it?
Because what happened with this guy too, like it almost looks like it's like you get a high from it. Because, like, the way he, like, passed out and, like, almost like he was, like, maybe while he's passed out, he was experiencing some shit that was, like, it's like, whoa, kind of like, like heroin or meth or something, like.
Maybe.
But, you know what I mean? But, and then he wakes up and he just starts eating more, so it's, like, maybe it's a reference to, like, the drug problem, too,
It could be. It's probably just a bunch of just everything just in one product, which would make sense, because, I mean, this is the 80s, and there's a lot of shit going on in the 80s, and
they put cigarettes and everything.
Yeah, and like, it is very crazy because I can understand if it's a parasite and it maybe bringing you back to life, so you can like it can continue to feed off of you.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's very weird and strange how this thing acts, because if it brings you back to life, then it doesn't kill you. Or are you already dead and you're just like a
keeping
husk,
yeah.
And it's
existing through you,
Yeah, and it just took you over and just like
basically like zombies almost.
Yeah, almost. It's very weird, and if anybody listening right now, you guys have like an actual like good explanation as to what the stuff is to make it, easy for like stupid people like us to understand. Please let us know.
Honestly, though, too, and maybe it's intentional. Maybe that's the whole point of the very vague name, the stuff.
Yeah.
I just punched my mic.
Oh, that's okay.
But yeah, you know, like, and maybe that's like part of the whole concept is just, you know, being very vague and, like, you know, like I said, referencing, like, you
Yeah.
know, everything out there, you know, that's an issue. But with you know, like the corporate America and
Yeah.
but
Which would make sense, yeah.
but yeah. So now I lost my place
That's
again.
okay.
But
I can go.
okay,
So after that,
they're chasing after the stuff. Yeah.
yeah, they go to the stuff, um, and then these group of people start running after them. Did I write that down? Because I know that there is.
Oh yeah, that I remember that. They try to fight
Um,
him.
yeah. So they, I think they steal a car,
Mm-hmm.
and then they make it to a diner. They get away from these people, and they even ask like the waitress there is like, "Hey, do you have any stuff here?" And she's like, "No, it's like on back order or whatever, and we don't have any of it." And then Mo's talking to Chocolate Chip
Chocolate
Charlie,
chip Charlie.
and it's like, okay, well, we need to split up here. You need to go to Washington D.C. because the feds won't listen to me, so you need to go there and convince them of what's going on. And then I'm gonna go. Crap, I didn't write down the actual place. There was a
Um,
different place they had to go to. That was in.
it was in not Georgia, North Carolina or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I forget the name, but I know it began with an S.
but that was the town they were already in.
Was it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I know he has to go somewhere, and he has to go back to Nicole, because they're gonna be, you know, joining together because she was a spokesman pretty much for the stuff. Well, spokesman, 'cause she wrote all like the ads and
Yeah,
everything, so wants to use her to, you know, convince and let everybody know what else is going on in the world to, you know, get people to stop eating the shit. So he goes up to a group of dudes. He's like, "Hey, is anybody going over here? Because I need to go. I need to get back to wherever the hell he was from."
yep,
And then so they kind of cut off, and then we get a shot of the waitress who said the stuff is not there. It's on back order. She runs into the back, and you can tell like she needs like. Now it's kind of making more sense if you're talking about it more like a drug and like you're getting high from it. Because when
yeah,
way did people like walk into it, they're like, oh, "Fucking,
yep.
I gotta get it now. I
Mm-hmm.
need it now." And she runs over and opens up this cooler, and it's just
Packed
filled.
full with the stuff.
It's filled with the stuff. So it's like, how are these people eating like
So
regular
they must be
food?
hiding it out or something.
Yeah, so it's like,
Because maybe they know that moves onto them, you know.
yeah, or they just don't want to share. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
it could
That's
be
my
that.
fix, bitches.
Yeah, it's mine. So, uh, oh wait, no, I think this is now. Oh no, sorry. I think the group of people are after this. I'm getting everything all mixed up because of how
Yeah.
many cuts there are.
Oh,
So
I
he
know.
leaves and he has the guy, and I think he gets dropped off. And then he's being tracked down because he makes it to his destination, and there's a girl on like the stuff stand who
Yeah.
like takes out like
A
a
walkie-talkie.
walkie, and it's just like, okay, he's here. And so it's like, what the fuck? What do you mean? And then he's just walking and he's fine, and then a stuff van just comes over and
Almost killed him.
almost kills him, and then it just stops. So it's like if you guys are tracking him down, why did you stop after missing him with the van? Like that's what kind of like threw me off a little bit. It's like there should have been more because he just kind of just gets to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
Like there's no other obstacles anywhere. If they really wanted to stop him, I think they probably could have. They could have hopped out of the van and grabbed him and threw him in the van instead of trying to run him over. You know.
Yeah.
So it's
Exactly.
like kind of weird in that spot. Uh, and then I think he meets with another suit. I think he has to do with the distribution of the stuff, and he's like also like asking the questions like there's everybody else like what's in it. Can you tell me how it was approved or anything like that? And the guy's like, no, but I want to hire you to work for us because I know who you are and you're a spy. You're really good with what you do. And he walks over to a safe, or it's not even a safe. I think it's just a cabinet. He's like, here's like a bunch of money. He's like, oh, is this like $1,000 bills? It's like, yeah, and there's 25 of them. He's like, yeah. He's like, okay, he takes it, but he doesn't really like say he's gonna work for them. He just takes the money
Yeah.
and runs. Which I mean, I don't blame him. I probably would have did it too because you know he's Mo and he wants Mo money.
No money.
Um, um, yeah, and then he's like brought to a lab. I guess this is like another set. Maybe I don't think it was really said of how this lab was brought, but I think he may have been part of why it's being made. It's because people are like, and actually inspecting the stuff and seeing what's in it, and
Mm-hmm.
no one can come up with any solutions.
Yep.
Um, and then, and wait, oh, I missed another spot. This is the second time he goes to the lab. So
Oh
there was
yeah.
another time he went, but I completely skipped over that. Sorry, guys, because this is when he goes with Nicole. So Nicole goes with him, and he's like, okay, well, once they get there, he's like, well, you need to go to the plane, and I think he has to go do something else.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't really say, but he's like, Nicole, let's go to the plane. We're gonna be going to Washington D.C.
Oh, he says they go
Um,
to the truck because they see the stuff coming up, right? Or is this a different scene?
this is a different one. This is before he gets Jason. So
That's right.
um,
Okay.
so he tells her to go to the plane. I'll meet you at this time, and we're gonna go inspect this factory and everything together. And then we jump back to Jason's family. This is when it gets really crazy. And I don't know if you want to talk about this one because this is kind of a fun scene.
Oh
It's not really long, but like what happens is kind of interesting
yeah. One sec.
when they start telling him to eat it.
Oh yeah, his family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jason, um, he comes up to his family. They're all just doing their thing and eating their stuff.
Stuff.
And they realize, oh well, yeah, no, that's a little bad. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's okay.
So they're like, oh, Jason, you need to have some stuff, and he refuses. But so his dad forced him to go upstairs. He's like, you won't come down to eat all that stuff. So he's like, okay, whatever. He goes up to his room or into the bathroom.
Yeah.
He starts dumping it into the toilet. Um, and it starts like gurgling and bubbling immediately. So it's like, what the fuck is in
Yeah,
this
it's
shit?
like all alive and everything. It's like fuck.
So I thought, I thought he was done right there for a sec.
Yeah,
But
me too.
so,
I thought I was gonna get out and get him.
so he grabs some shaving cream, which is a similar consistency to stuff, and fills it up. Starts smoothing it out, and as he's walking out, he's still like flattening it out. Makes it look like he's eating the stuff. His brother sees him. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I just ate my stuff." He's like, "You're not supposed to be down here." Dad said you gotta eat all that before you come down. But so he like drags him out, or like he goes into the kitchen. He's like, "Jason loves the stuff."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, we're glad finally glad you came around." He's like, "Oh, I would love some more after. I'm gonna take it up to my bedroom." So and they're like, "Oh, I got a fresh thing of stuff for dessert," and so they and then they kind of start to catch on to him, and they read the father. He like tastes the shaving cream, but then Jason's already gone at
Yeah,
this point.
he fucking
He
ran.
fucking dipped.
He was just eating shaving cream, and he ate like 3 or 4 spoonfuls. I would imagine he probably wants to throw up
Yeah.
because like obviously you're not supposed to eat shaving cream.
Mm-hmm. So and then he ends up running out. He comes across Mo.
Yeah, which is so weird because even Mo's like, I've seen it move too. It's like, I understand you're a spy, but why are you spying on this family? Like that's
I
not.
think I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe it was just happened to be like there, but I don't know.
But
Actually,
how would he know
that he was the boy that
that saw it too? I mean, unless like the grocery store incident
Oh yeah,
was
true.
maybe on
Yeah.
the news because we never really saw anything of that. We don't know if it was like public or if the
Yeah.
news caught on to it. So that's my only guess as to how Mo would know. So he's like, oh, I got to get this kid because he knows. But still, he's really young. So it's like, what? It's very weird. But I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. He's with the group now. He's with Mo.
Yep. So, anyways, um, yeah, he's with Mo. He's like, get in the back seat. He starts like throwing up. He's like, you just threw up in my car. He's like, well, I just ate shaving cream, dumbass. He's like, well, most normal people eat shaving cream once in their life, I guess. He's just like, whatever. So, they both realize that neither of them have eaten the stuff. So they're like, both seen it move. We got, Mo's like, I've got a witness right here, so, but
Yeah.
anyway, they end up getting together, Nicole, Jason, and Mo, and, they end up getting attacked by some of the people, wait, I'm getting mixed up because this
That's
movie
the
cuts.
next day.
Oh,
Yeah, it's when they go to the plane. So they arrive at the plane to get to where they need to go, and then it's when they start. Mo and Nicole go to meet the suits, and Jason is asleep on the plane. Like
oh yeah, that's
so,
right.
Mo tells I think the pilot like, hey, if we're not back in a few hours, just fly Jason, or bring him to
Wherever
there was
the
another place we need to go. There was a couple of locations, but I didn't
yeah.
write them down.
But and then he ends up having like a bad feeling, or the stuff almost gets to him. He ends up escaping in the plane. That's right.
Yeah, it's been because I mean like all that Mo and Nicole do is just go to visit the factory and like
That's right.
actually
And they
go
kind of
there
scope it out
and start
um
taking pictures. And one of the guys is like, "You shouldn't be taking pictures here," and he just takes a picture of the guy who says it. It's like this guy's got some balls.
yeah, right. Um, so they end up getting the tour and sorry, they have a room paid for at the hotel. So
Like, yo,
anyways,
well, let's get you tomorrow for a nice breakfast. It's like,
yeah,
thank
right.
you. This scene reminds me a lot of Halloween 3 with the hotel
Mm-hmm.
because like they stay at a hotel too, and a lot of shit like happens there.
Yeah.
And this one, it gives me that vibe because like hotels and horror movies never really end well.
Yeah. My mind sure goes straight to The Shining.
Mm, mm.
Because of the whole hotel, like.
That'd be a good movie to cover at some point.
So, anyways, uh, they they go to the hotel. David, no, not David. Sorry, mine is Jason. Jason. Ends up getting stuck in one of the trucks because he's hiding.
Yeah, he booked it. He was like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah, he escapes from the stuff. He's hiding on top of a distribution truck, like one of the big tanks. And ends up climbing in to hide. And he gets locked in. Thankfully, it's empty for now.
Yeah, for now.
Excuse me. And so
He's,
we're at the hotel.
the other thing, sorry, but like another thing is like he's trapped in it for a while. Would you run out of oxygen?
I don't know.
Is
There's got to be some kind. I feel like there's got to be some kind
you're
of
in
like
metal. Metal. Does it allow air to pass through? Is it breathable?
I don't know. That's
thought,
weird. Unless, yeah, that's weird.
I don't know.
There's got to be some kind of like safety gate in place for that kind of situation. I feel like, but
yeah. But I mean, like,
who plans on somebody climbing in one of those though?
I mean, if you have to clean it, then that's like another thing. But usually the hatch is open, I would think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I would think you would have to go in there and like.
Yeah, because you'd want it to be impenetrable because you don't want that stuff inside to like be contaminated either. So
yeah, so maybe
it's just a flaw in logic,
Yeah, I don't know. I like to overthink everything on these movies. It's like
what we're here for.
But it's good conversation starters and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
But so we end up at the motel, and then you got David and Nicole. Wait. Yeah, David or Mo. I'm not used to calling him David. I keep calling him Mo. So
that's
like,
okay.
but
either one works.
Same person, but Mo and Nicole, they're laying in bed together. I wonder if it's kind of insinuating that they fucked, that they slept together, or if they're just like we're both trying to end this whole thing, and we're just sleeping in the bed together. But whatever.
Yeah, because we don't really see what happens. We do know that they fall asleep.
Yeah. So they start to fall asleep, and stuff starts coming out of the pillow.
It's like, what the? Why at this point?
When they have why is this pillow so, like, mushy?
Yeah, it's like, why at this point does it activate? You would think that you would feel it.
Yeah. So that's what gets me thinking more, too, on the whole, like, aliens, like, specimen thing, because maybe I knew it was that they're like, oh shit, it's onto me, they're on me, so like I'm gonna hide in this pillow because I know they're gonna be in the room, and it is like a circle of communication from like the addicts to the stuff, you know what I mean? And
yeah, it makes sense. It's like a hive mind, I guess is what you
say. Exactly. Yeah, that I don't know. That's
speaking of random fights. As he's being attacked, and like after Nicole, like, because she pours like
booze or something.
Yeah, because it gets on his face, and she burns it. But after that happens, some random fucking guy just runs in there and like starts fighting them. It's just like what? What the hell? And then like more stuff like comes like literally like, flooding out of the mattress. So it's like it's in the pillows, it's in the mattress, but it's a lot in the mattress. So it's like how can it
Yeah.
like solidify itself to like replicate like a texture?
Yeah, right.
What that's kind of I don't
Hmm.
think we've seen anything like that, but that would have been really cool if they went down that road for it to like replicate things. Maybe not
Yeah.
change its color, but like
Yeah. Hmm. And just take different forms.
yeah. But the guy gets killed because they
Um.
burned down the whole fucking
Oh
place.
yeah, they start. Yeah.
They're like the weakness is fire now. I gotcha. So it's like the symbiote from like Spider-Man and shit.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, um, that guy's dead. The stuff ends up taking over and destroying the friggin' motel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then you got Jason still stuck in the truck, and yeah, the guy locks in, starts driving off. He's like, oh shit, what do I do now? So he's like, he's losing his balance. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, I'd feel bad for him. I'd be
Uh-huh.
scared as shit, and it's dark as hell in there.
Yeah, right.
You can't see shit.
But so the truck ends up getting to where it's going, which ends up being the distribution factory, or the place where they mine all the goop.
Yeah.
Um, and they then we got Nicole and David, who are now spying on the factory yet again.
Yeah.
They managed to sneak in, and he's like, I gotta go down there, and I gotta go do something. And she's like, how you gonna get down there? And he's like, with this baby. And he pulls out like a jumpsuit, so it'll blend in. That guy thinks of everything.
Yeah, he's super smart. I wish I was like that.
So, but yeah, he ends up attaching some like cameras or something.
Charges.
Yeah.
Very weird because he only put 2 on his ankle, but he put like 4 on the wall. So it's like,
Yeah.
how do they multiply so quickly?
Yeah, so, but they end up seeing the stuff coming out of like this big like pool hole in the ground. And it's like a big lake of it, and it's like bubbling. It almost looks like it's forming like the shape of people. Do you notice that? Like,
Yeah, it's very weird.
I thought people were just like jumping in it and shit, but
or it can like make itself into a person. Like that would have been really
yeah,
cool
because that's
too.
what this is saying is like it's like the stuff creates a weird milky structures and it's possibly sentient. Yeah. But so who knows?
It's cool.
But yeah, they start anyways unloading these tubes though from the trucks and sticking them in the puddle, and they're loading up their trucks with stuff to go get packaged up and all that fun stuff. So anyways, Jason sees this. He's like, "Ah, shit, there's stuff in here," and it's pissed. It's coming at him, but like it's coming at him so slow, like
Yeah.
in a classic horror movie fashion, where it's just like it's like
oh
ah!
no,
3 scenes. Ah,
don't
it's
get
right
me.
there.
And it's like a person who's like two steps in front of you. Please, no,
No,
no, please, no.
So, but yeah, and then Mo ends up blending in. He attacks one of the workers, knocks him
Yeah,
out.
because he's like, this guy doesn't look right.
Yeah,
And he just knocks him out.
yeah,
Pretty funny.
steals the truck. And anyways, they have this big truck full of this stuff. And they're talking about like, oh, why are they driving so late at night? It's like 'cause it's the perfect time of night for if you don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
Which
it's true.
they don't want to see a stuff truck coming out of some like mining facility.
Yeah.
Like a dessert. So, but they're driving and the hose is still hanging on the back, so they get pulled over by a police officer.
Oh, yeah.
And
That scene's kind of funny.
So he tells him to get out of the truck. Mo's being a smart ass. And I forget what he says, but that pisses the cop off. He instantly pulls his gun out. He's like, "Get out of the truck now."
Oh yeah, he said, "Are you going to arrest me for an indecent vehicle or something
Oh,
like that?"
indecent. Oh yeah, he said your hose is out, and he said, "Oh yeah, you're gonna arrest me for indecent exposure."
Yeah, that's what it was.
So he's like, "Get the fuck out of the truck." So, anyways,
I guess that you can call that an innuendo.
Yeah, right. So the stuff is like pouring out the back of the truck. Um, and Jason's out of the truck at this point, by the way.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
got him out.
yeah. Mo heard him in there and they got him out.
So, but anyways, he's talking to the cop. They're all out of the truck, and Jason's like, "Ooh, I want some of that stuff." And then Mo's like, "Oh yeah, it'd be a shame if it went to waste." So Nicole and Jason go up, and then they start pretending to eat it.
Yeah, she's like, pretend to eat it.
You got the cop. You can tell he's distracted. He keeps looking over. He's like, "Ooh, the stuff,
The stuff.
And he ends up wandering over and starts like scooping it up off the ground, and then, excuse me, Mo knocks him out, and they go on their merry way.
This guy is good at literally
knocking
everything
everybody
he does,
out.
man.
But yeah, so yeah, he knocks him out, and they end up coming across like a military fort or something,
A castle. He's like,
or a castle.
He's like, I know the guy who works here, but he doesn't know me. It's like this guy knows everybody. So even Nicole's like, why are we at a castle? He's like, well, don't worry about it. So Mo gets out of the car, like obviously he knows what's gonna happen, and then they kind of get ambushed, but like they don't get attacked or anything. It's just a bunch of like military people just everywhere. So he meets up with Colonel Spears and talks to him about like, hey, um, I know that you really believe that like communists would come and like poison the water supply and stuff. And he's like, what if I told you that there was actually something happening here in America to the Americans that was, I think he said poisoning them. He's like, are you actually serious about this? He's like, yeah, it is. Like, I can show you where it is. And he kind of like breaks it down, and then he meets up with like Nicole and Jason, and then he's like, okay, well, after you tell me all this stuff, it's like I know a couple of radio stations that can go and broadcast this. So it's like this guy jumps on board pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then they find their way. Actually, no. Before that, they have the truck. So obviously he shows them.
Yep.
And then they go back to the facility where the stuff is.
Oh yeah, and then he like blows it up and shit, right?
Yeah. So he arrives there, and like I think it's one of the army men that's driving the truck, but in like just in regular clothes. And then he talks to like the guy who's like at the gate of the facility. He's like, "Hey, I found your truck. It was it was lost or whatever, so I found it and I brought it back." He's like, "Oh, that's fine." It's like, "Yeah, but I want to be paid in cash." He's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry. That's all settled." It's like, "But I want my money." And then the guy shoots him, and then all the whole army comes out, and they're like, "Okay, well, this is war." So they go there and they kind of like invade the facility and knock out some of the people, and then they find a bunch of the workers on the floor, and they're like, "Oh my god, they killed themselves." But when they look at them, they're like, "There's no sign of the stuff anywhere." So it's already like it's left their bodies, and they even like squish one of the heads.
Yo.
It's like, yeah, there's nothing in here.
Oh, that got me too. Is like how like in that when they were being chased by all the dudes, and then Charlie punched him. He's like, "I just punched a hole in his head."
Yeah.
And they just start like smushing their faces and shit.
It's super funny. This movie is super goofy, and
yeah,
obviously don't take it serious, but
yeah, it's pretty lighthearted, but like
it has a sort of a serious message,
like tone to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they kind of break off as Jason and Nicole wanna go back, I think, to the truck or whatever, just leave the facility, and they're like, "Oh, how do we leave?" And they are instructed where to go, and they then, I think it's Mo and Spears to go to investigate the rest of the place. And as they're doing that, Nicole and Jason are now being hunted by a giant mass of the stuff. And they're moving so fucking slow to the exit. Oh my god. Even like Jason's like, "Come on, we gotta go." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm trying," because they have to like hop through like these different like metal containers to get to a door.
Yeah.
Which they're lucky that the door wasn't locked, because they would be fucking dead. let's see, and like it breaks down walls and everything, and it kind of consumes
Yeah.
whatever, and then they pretty much just blow up the facility because like they don't really have like any other choice. It's the thing that would like destroy it. So,
Yeah.
and then that's when Spears is like, hey, I got a couple of radio stations where we can go to broadcast this and tell the world to stop like
Yeah.
eating this and like warn people who haven't done it because I think where it is right now, and I kind of said it earlier, is like it's only small towns that are very consumed by it,
Yeah.
and like they try to avoid those because they know that they're already corrupted. So the bigger the city or town,
Less likely it's spread throughout and
yeah.
yeah. But
Oh yeah, this is really funny. They get a bunch of like taxis, and this one guy says, "What is this, World War III?" And it's really funny. And then there's like the sight of all the army guys in taxis with their guns like out, and it's so funny looking. And they're going to the radio station. It's really funny. Then
World War III.
and then when they get back, even like Spears like tells all their army guys, it's like make sure you tip the drivers 10% and get a receipt. It's like, oh, okay, well they do have some pretty good morals. And they must have some pretty good money. And then they make it to the radio station. We have some with Mo and Nicole. You know, they kind of bicker a lot.
Yeah.
Just because they're pretty playful when they bicker, so they definitely have some sort of chemistry.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like writing out what is going to be said in the broadcast. And then who comes back?
Chocolate Chip Charlie.
Chocolate Chip Charlie. And I'll let you take it away from there.
So Chocolate Chip Charlie returns to help, spread the message of the stuff because the sales kind of made him lose everything. He had to file for bankruptcy and all that.
Yep.
So, but when he gets to the radio station, apparently he's addicted to the stuff.
Yes, and we do find out it happens very quick.
Yeah.
He's not there for long.
Yeah. His return ends very abruptly. And his mouth ends up opening.
Yeah, because he goes in the room with Nicole because she wants to like talk to him, like, hey, you're gonna be okay with saying these things, and I want to go over with the things I want you to say. And he's like, yeah, I'll say whatever you need, and like whatever. And like even like when they go into the room, he like closes the door very like sly like, and like, I don't like just leave me be with her, and then.
Yeah,
it's a very good like special effects scene. The special effects in this movie we haven't really said, but are really good.
Yeah. Stuff starts foaming out of his mouth like standard stuff fashion.
Standard stuff fashion, like it.
But yeah, so and they end up the colonel ends up doing the recording and then people start listening. He tells everybody, its weakness is fire. It's bad for you. You need to destroy it, and so people hear the message and they start turning against the stuff and they start burning everything, destroying the buildings and destroying all the stuff they can find.
I really wish that would work in real life.
There's always gonna be those stubborn people that be like, no, I like
where you could just like say something like that and everybody's like,
okay,
you're right. Okay,
you
let's do it.
They think logically, but
but
people
like,
don't do that.
Real life sucks, man. Sometimes I really wish it was like a movie and things are just scripted. You just do it and just follow along and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's never that
Real
easy.
life sucks ass sometimes, man. But it's just really funny how it's just like you can just broadcast that in 2 radio stations.
And then everybody is just
like
on board.
We see like buildings blowing up, people in groups, like piles upon piles of the stuff being burned. It's just like, wow, okay, so humanity isn't all that bad.
Yeah, but
at least in this movie.
As I say again, in real life though, it wouldn't go that smoothly. But so we end up coming to the owners of the stuff who started the company, the masterminds behind, if you will, and they see all this shit that's going down. They're like, the jig is up. So they're like, we're just gonna remarket it. We're just gonna call it The Taste.
And Moses like, you're so fucking dumb.
So, they're sitting down at their desks.
And it's just funny because I think the explanation is like, oh, this is gonna be better because it's only like what, like 12 or 15% of like what the stuff actually was. So it's like, okay,
Yeah, it's just diluted.
so it's like it's not really the stuff, but what else are you putting in it?
Yeah, right. But yeah, so anyways, they call it the taste, and Mo's
The
like, "Are you
taste.
fucking serious?" But it's they leave just enough of it to keep people like hooked on it.
Yeah, that's what I think
And
what he actually
yeah,
does too.
so Mo calls Jason, and he comes in, and he's got just like jugs and jugs of the taste or the stuff.
This stuff.
The stuff. It's not the taste yet, but
No.
technically, but and he's like, okay, if it's so safe to sell, and why don't you guys eat it?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I mean, I guess they didn't want to, but
No.
they were on the spot, so and they start eating this stuff, and
Yeah, you eat it or I shoot you.
yeah, basically, yeah, they just continue to eat it, and their story's written from there.
Yeah, and like it cuts through too, and then you get to the end, like they've eaten like almost like 100 containers of it.
Yeah, the police get there, and they're just like piles of empty containers, and
Like, how are you still alive after that? It must really keep you alive to be like to use you for
drugs
whatever it
do to you.
needs.
But yeah, and they're hooked on it, and everybody leaves, and then we cut to a couple bad guys,
Mm-hmm.
criminals moving a shipment of not the taste, but the stuff that must have been hidden or put aside, and
Yeah,
now
it's on the black market,
it's on the black market now. Yeah, so people want the stuff, they're gonna get the stuff.
and
But,
yeah,
and then we hit the credits, and
that's all she
that's
wrote.
all she wrote.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it was fun.
Do we want to run through some of the people that
Yeah.
were in this? I mean, obviously Larry Cohen, the director, he's done a lot of really good movies like Q, the Winged Serpent, and I know there's so many more that are on here. Um,
Larry.
click on Larry Cohen because he's done so many movies. It's so hard to keep track. He's like Roger Corman, who's done like so many goddamn movies.
Yeah, It's Alive, It Lives Again,
Yeah, like
Ambulance, God Told Me To.
he was like another one of those directors and writers that does like pumped out movies. Like Roger Corman,
Like he had an idea and he just made
yeah,
it.
he just did it. And Roger Corman has made so many movies, like Little Shop of Horrors. And he did, I
That one's a
think,
classic.
yeah, he did it in the whole thing. I think in 2 days on a dare.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so once we start getting to some like Roger Corman films, we can really start talking about him. But Larry Cohen is like he's a master, and it sucks that we lost him, but we still have all his movies and everything that are really really good. So make sure you guys go and watch them, especially the stuff. This is a really good one. It's fun. It does jump around quite a bit, and you might get lost a little
Like
bit
we
and
did.
like what's
Or
going on or why is this connected and how does this work. But I mean,
yeah.
it's a movie, guys.
They
Just
could have.
fucking watch it.
Yeah. It's for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
Try not to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
But
So.
it's fun though.
Yeah, Michael Moriarty. I think that's how you say that. Yeah, he's been in a lot of like Larry Cohen films and everything. He's good. He was in Q the Winged Serpent, which is also a pretty good movie. It's a creature feature. It's I don't want to say it's like Godzilla or anything like that, but it revolves around like a giant serpent in New York City. That's pretty good to watch.
Hmm.
And Michael does a really good job in that, like he does in this, and he talks really smooth.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Then we got Andrea Marcovici, who plays
Jesus,
Nicole.
these names, man.
What's she in?
I'm not sure. She doesn't. I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
Known for The Front, The Concorde Airport,
Wait.
Space Hunter Adventure.
Oh, I thought it said Beastmaster. I was like, she was in Beastmaster?
Yeah, nothing too notable.
Yeah, I mean, half of the time, a lot of these people are usually picked up from like TV or
or some little like B movie or something.
Like we've definitely like seen that a lot in like the movies that we watch. This is a lot of like TV, a lot of TV, especially like like Japanese films, a lot of it's just from TV.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people get their start, though. You know, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
But and then we got Garrett Morris playing Chocolate Chip Charlie.
See, he looked familiar to
He
me,
did.
but I don't know if
Coneheads.
Coneheads. Yeah, okay. So I'm definitely he was
Ant-Man.
an Ant-Man.
How High.
Okay, so he was in a lot of stuff that I know. That's why he looked familiar to me. Oh,
Yeah.
Coneheads is a movie I haven't watched in
Oh,
so
that one's
long.
funny.
Oh my god! If you guys are Conehead fans out there, let us know because that's a great movie. Maybe we should just cover that
Yeah, right.
one time. Just like do a
Just
non-horror.
Elevate, you know. Paul Sorvino.
Okay, so
Colonel Spears.
yeah, he.
I know his.
familiar to
I
me
know the
too.
name, but Goodfellas,
Okay, so he was in Repo. Okay.
Rocketeer, Nixon.
Goodfellas. Okay, yeah, so that's why he looks familiar to me.
Hmm.
So these people are pretty well known. If you've seen those movies, anyway.
Yeah, I haven't, but Scott Bloom is Jason.
Yeah, that's probably like the only other important person in this film, I think.
Yeah, what else was he in?
And
Smoking
how-
Aces.
Was his? Because he had an older brother, but they looked like they were twins.
I was gonna say, yeah, they look. Everybody in that family looks very similar.
Yeah, so I wonder if they were actually.
Let's see if he has a brother or something.
If you
Um,
go back. Sorry, guys. We're doing all this off of IMDb because
they have everything.
yeah, I don't like having to keep going back and like typing things out, so we just go straight to IMDb. I don't know what his
brother's name was.
see,
Jason's
this-
brother, Brian Bloom.
So okay, so
Yeah.
they're definitely actual brothers then. But
He
I don't
didn't
think
age
they're
as well.
twins though, because he looks older, so this must have like a really prominent look to them, you know.
He was in the A-Team.
Oh,
The remake.
oh, he did.
Call of
he
Duty,
did voice in
Wolfenstein.
Call of Duty. Oh, okay.
Once Upon a Time in Amsterdam.
Hmm.
But
Well,
yeah.
that's interesting. So he actually did have an actual brother in the film. I wonder if Larry did that just for budget reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Probably easier, just bundle them up. But
But yeah.
if I had to give this a rating like we usually like to do, I would give this. It's super fun, guys. There's a lot of jump cuts, and I mean, like, yeah, the story is kind of a little weird and all over the place, but it's so fun that I don't want to give it a low score, so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Just because of just how fun it is.
Yeah.
And I don't take it serious, obviously, and it does have a pretty good message of like, you know, companies are assholes and will do anything just for money and, you know, whatever it may be. But yeah, 8 out of 10 blood splatters.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna probably go with the 8 out of 10 blood splatters as well. Because it's not, like I said, it doesn't take itself too seriously. You shouldn't either. It was, you know, it had a good plot to it. It was very vague, which I kind of liked. It gave it
Yeah.
that like mysterious like feel to it.
Yeah,
and
leave it up to like your interpretation and stuff.
But-
yeah, I like movies like that too. They make you kind of think.
yeah, it was it was different, you know. So, but I really enjoyed it. It was a nice little comedy horror.
Yeah, me too. And that's like all Larry Cohen movies. Though they're all like that. They're all comedy, and they all got horror, and they all have undertones of other things. So it's very open to whatever you want it to be. You know? I know this may seem like a little weird episode just because we're still trying to get back into the swing of things. So I promise next week is going to be even more interesting, and we will be back full blown because we will be having our guest Scorpion BLS. I'll be posting that a couple times this week to so you guys know.
We
And I
will be
might-
cover- oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I said we will be covering both Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Yes, we will. We're not going to be going through the whole
Like-
synopsis of both of them. We're just going to be talking about
The comparisons.
yeah,
and
did this one
whatnot.
do this one better? Did this one do that one better? How does this one hold up compared to this one? Do you think they did a good job? Like this stuff like that. This I don't know, just open questions, things that will spark conversation. So I'm really excited for that, and I want to make sure you guys go show him some support because he hasn't really been streaming that much because of what he's been going through in his life. But he is back, I think this week. So. Sorry guys, I'm yawning a lot because
Yeah.
it's been a long day.
But
And,
we're excited for that to have our
yeah,
next
me too.
guest.
It's great. And I've been doing work on Dean and the Dead podcast. So he is releasing, I think, the second episode. Actually, it should have already been out. Let me check real quick, guys. Sorry. So if you guys want to have some more content with me involved, and
For those,
Aaron, I think will be whenever. He also said, Aaron, if you ever wanted to go on, you can.
yeah, I'll
Um,
make an appearance. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, Dean of the Dead, we had on the show in the past. Um,
hmm,
Super chill dude.
it's
Um,
from the
he
UK.
makes great hot sauce. Well, I can only assume great hot sauces because we unfortunately haven't had the chance to try them yet. But he's got a good business model and he does really well at marketing. He's just a all
Hmm.
around great dude.
And he's a musician too, and he's been doing live shows. So he's a singer and a guitarist.
Really, I
Yeah,
didn't
which
know that.
I knew that he did do music, but I didn't think he was still active in that. So what he's doing right now is he's attending chili festivals, horror conventions, playing music, doing a podcast, and making his hot sauce and running his own business.
Busy
So
dude.
he is grinding the hell out of everything. So like I appreciate that man so much. And it's good to have a friend like that, and like for the both of us, like he's so down to earth. So if you guys want to hear more about him, go check out our episode, and you can learn about his company and just like how he is and his influence in horror and everything like that. Because he's a super chill man, and I do want to get him back on here at some point, but he's so busy right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I think the he has one episode out right now, but I could have sworn the other one's supposed to be out on Friday, but maybe it's this Friday. I know he's been really busy, so.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much all that we have for this episode. Like I said, it's kind of
I'm kind of still getting
slow,
back into the swing of things.
but we will be back full force next week, I promise. And as usual, for people who do support us on Patreon, this will be uploaded to them tonight, and then tomorrow, it will be out for everybody at 9 a.m. everywhere. It'll be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google,
Everywhere.
everything. So if you guys want to get either the audio or the video or both versions early, you can go and pledge $1 to our Patreon, and you can get them early. So thank you guys for being here. Aaron, I don't know if you have anything you want to say before we go and sign off.
Well, thank you for first of all, thank you for sticking by us. In our
Mhm.
not time of need, but like during our little break and bearing with
Yeah.
us. Like Dustin said, we'll be back full force next week. We got a whole 2 months planned of fun stuff, fun
Yeah,
campy
it's
stuff.
gonna be great, and
Um,
I can't wait for Halloween because I do have ideas of what I want to do. There was one idea I wanted to do this year, but I'm gonna have to postpone it until next year because life just happened and I haven't had a lot of time to go and write um, what I want to happen, and I want it to happen next year. So it's gonna be super
so
fun, guys.
there are ideas in the works, and we're excited to share them with you.
Yes. So thank you guys so much for supporting us and listening to our episodes even when we weren't uploading. You guys are amazing. We're sitting at 159 total plays right now. So if you guys can go and listen to one episode, just one, you can get us to 160, and we will almost at 200. Absolutely ridiculous. You guys are absolutely amazing, and for everybody who is still supporting us on Patreon and everywhere else, it's great. I'm not saying you guys have to give us money or anything, but
But
for
if you're
those who
willing to,
do,
if you have an extra buck or two a month,
you guys are
you should.
your heroes. So I think that's all we have for today, and we will be back next week. Maybe I'll do a mid-week episode of a Dustin Thought episode.
We'll see
I don't
what
know.
you think about it.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll do, but
It's
we'll
kind of a
see.
wild card like that.
Yeah, I do want to start doing those more because they kind of are fun, and I'll explain it here what it is. It's not a full review on it. It's like literally just a 10 to 20 minute video or episode because I upload it to everything on YouTube. It's just like a regular podcast, but its own separate series, and it's just me kind of just like talking about what I think about this, what I think about that. So those are really fun, and we will see you guys next week. And this was the Baron's Hideout podcast. I was your host, Dustin.
And I was your host, Aaron.
And we will see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And I know we've had a few lurkers here on Twitch, which is absolutely awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we'll see you next time.